Hi, I'm Chairwoman Lisa Cupid of Cobb County, and I'm thrilled to be here with my friend and Realtor extraordinaire, Donna Middlebrooks. It's been some time since we've been desiring to connect whenever there's opportunity to help our residents and to let them know how they can maintain their housing and be in the best housing.
Yes.
You've put a word in my ear, and I'm grateful to finally have the opportunity to sit down with you in front of the camera so that you can share with our residents some things that they can do during this time, which is a difficult time for many, to keep their home and protect their home.
Yes, yes. Well, I thank you for the opportunity. As a longtime Cobb resident and over 30 years in Cobb County, it is certainly housing and housing advocacy is one of my passions. Yes. So I'm excited to have this conversation.
Being a housing advocate, what are some things that you're observing at this time that made you decide to reach out to me?
You know, we're going through a time right now economically where people are really living paycheck to paycheck, more so than ever before. And with that, we're seeing, you know, people talking a lot about food disparities, but not necessarily the housing disparities. And they are there as well, whether it be someone that currently owns a home, someone that is renting a home, or even our homeless population. So how do we go through all of those different scenarios and make sure that we have affordable housing for those in our county?
That's right. I mean, certainly basic needs are most important,
Yes.
and being fed is paramount, because if you're hungry, you're really not thinking about anything else.
Right.
But next on that list is shelter and keeping
Absolutely.
a roof over your head. And if people are unable to afford food, it's probably more challenging for them to afford their rent or their mortgage.
Absolutely. I got a call last week from a board member in an organization that I'm on, and he was at the grocery store with a family of 6 that was in their car. And so he called me immediately and said, Donna, what are the resources? What do we have? And so I literally just kind of went through my phone and started digging, thinking about, you know, ministries, nonprofits that we have that he could point them to, as well as if they're in the car, were they in an apartment, were they in housing, like what caused the situation, so that we can figure out, is there a home that we need to try and save? What does that look like? Because so many people just don't understand the process.
Yeah, so talk to us about that and our viewers about that. You certainly don't ever want anybody to get to a point where they're living in their car. But what are some steps that people can take so that they may not get to that point if they were living in a home or had an apartment prior to that?
So I think what's most important is being proactive. You have to be proactive. If you're a homeowner right now and you're in a situation where it's looking like you're not going to be able to make the next mortgage payment or the next couple of mortgage payments because the funding is tight in the household, do not ignore the phone calls. So if the phone calls have already started, don't ignore. But if they haven't started, be proactive and call your service provider. Often people think of their lender. The person that originated your loan, the lender initially in the transaction, may not be who you're paying the mortgage payments to. So if you're getting online payments or still getting a hard copy in the mail, find the number and call and let them know what the situation is, and being proactive. These service providers, these lenders, they don't want your home. They do not want your home. They want to keep you in your home. And so if you can be proactive and start having that conversation, there's options out there that you can start hearing about, whether that be forbearance, where it's an example of forbearance is putting so you don't have, they give you a couple of months to not make a mortgage payment, and then they can put it on the back end of your loan. There are, right, you know, during COVID, we saw a lot of that, where the banks were allowing people to be able to take a couple of months and put it on the back end to give you that little relief as we were going through that transition. There's also, you know, you can do loan adjustments, and so maybe it's an opportunity where you're in a higher interest loan, and they can look at how do we do some interest only or principal only. It just depends on the lender, but each loan servicer is different with their options. If the scenario is too far down the road, then you can certainly look at a short sale which is selling your home for less than the value with their permission. So there's options. There's options.
So I know you said be proactive, but I must think being proactive is probably difficult if you are full of fear about losing your home and you're dealing with the stress of trying to put food on the table and just keep yourself together, your family and your children together. How do we get over that fear to even perceive that there's someone on the other end of the phone that wants to help us?
And I think that's the thing. So like I said, the bank or the service provider does not want your home. Yeah, they're in the market to make money on the interest and the longevity of that loan, whether it be a 15-year or a 30-year or whatever you're in. And so them owning property is not the goal. And so we've got to get beyond this fear of the unknown. So become educated. There's organizations out here. Go back to your original realtor that helped you sell the house so that you can at least start having the conversation. Go back to the original lender that helped you finance the house. Start having conversations with the people that are in your circle that you're comfortable with, right? Because those are people that you know. And stop being embarrassed. Life is life and really hard right now.
Yes, I was going to say pride is another thing.
Yes.
You know, when you hear of people getting laid off from the federal government, a lot of people had a lot of stability in a middle class setting with that kind of work. So having the wherewithal of what to do might be foreign to them. And then there's pride that comes into play because perhaps you've just never been in a position where you've had to ask for that kind of help.
Right.
So.
Right. I think so the scenario I always use is when you see people that were in rental homes or even in apartments and you see the furniture out by the curb. So what's more important? Is it more embarrassing to be able to have the conversation up front or to come home and there's the sheriff's notice on your door and your house is sitting and your furniture and everything is sitting outside? Now you're exposed to the entire community. As opposed to if you had been proactive, started having the conversations and not be so defensive, but look for the information and figure out because the more you're informed, the better decision that you can make. And so that's why I say start with whomever your local realtor was that helped you get in the home. Start with your local lender. There's organizations that are within our local community. You can start right here with our housing authority. Have conversations with the housing authority. There's an organization or there's a website, findhelpgeorgia.org.
That's right.
You know, you and I were speaking about that recently, and there's even a Cobb County page.
That's right.
So findhelpga.org has all of the resources, not only for our county, but for our state and nationally, that you can go in the privacy of your home or on your phone and look up and put your zip code in and find the resources that will help you, whether it be a mortgage situation, rental situation, food resources, they have mental health resources. So it is literally find help for your situation, findhelpgeorgia.org.
It's music to my ears to hear you share that website because a lot of work has been done with our communications team to put the word out about that wonderful resource that our IS team and some nonprofit organizations helped put together. And when we heard of this pending food crisis, I was concerned that there might be organizations that say they help but may not be in a position to help. So I asked an assistant in my office, can you just call some of the organizations on that list? And she went through about 7 or 8 and she said all of them had food. All of them want to help. They just are waiting for people to reach out to them. So I can't underscore what you said enough. Just ask for help. There are people out there who are willing to help once you get the courage and the wherewithal to ask.
I think so many people I was looking at some, over the news the past few weeks and how people that are going into these food lines for the churches and the ministries that are giving out and you're seeing these high-end luxury vehicles pull up for the first time. And it's like, if you can do that and get over that, then save your home. Your home is the stability of your household. So maintaining that shelter does so much more for mental health, for being able, even if it is going to the food pantry to get food, at least you have some place to bring it home to. There's resources for your utilities. There's resources to be able to stay in that home if you would just reach out and ask. And don't think of it as just a handout, but a hand up. It is just a hand up to help you get through this valley moment that you're in.
Yes,
because
I love that.
We're going to come out of it.
Amen. And we all have valley moments.
Yes. Yes.
So there's nothing to be ashamed of. We all go through something at some point.
Yeah, and I think people sometimes think that they're living so comfortably because we have an amazing county here in Cobb County, right? We have a county that is very financially smart, right? And with that, we have residents that are in comfortable positions, and what we're seeing is our upper middle class or our middle class. I used to tell people, I said, there used to be 3 versions of middle class. It was like lower middle class, middle class, upper middle class, and somehow I think everybody has dropped down a little bit based on the economic changes and just recognizing what that looks like. But still, if you made it to whatever level you're in, be okay. There was someone that helped you get there.
Yes, that's right.
There was someone that helped you get there.
That's right.
So let's figure out what that is now, because there's so many resources. We have just a multitude of resources right here in Cobb County, statewide, understanding, like you asked before, like what do you do proactively with your loan, understanding who your loan is, so people don't even sometimes understand, do I have an FHA loan? Do I have a VA loan? What type of loan do I have? Is it government backed by like a Freddie Mac or a Fannie Mae, understanding who backs your loan, what the insurances are on your loan. So there's resources with all of those as well that you can call so you understand the dynamics, because once you understand the dynamic of your loan, then you can understand how do I navigate around that and who do I need to call for my resources.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm hearing from you today is that reaching out at least puts you a step ahead in getting the help that you need, and people actually do want to help.
Absolutely, being
Okay.
proactive, communicating, and just staying on top of your budget. Now is the time more than so. People think budget is a nasty word. And so understanding the expenses that are coming out of your household, there's so many tools out there now with all of the AI and the apps that you can download that will help you track your expenses and track, what's coming in your home. Be budget conscious in your household, and that means everybody. As a realtor, I've had conversations with the 2-year-old. Okay. Like, okay, mommy and daddy trying to buy a house, so we can't go to McDonald's every Friday. So understanding, that everybody, the entire family needs to be engaged with where do we cut corners and how do we make it through this tough time to get to the other side.
Yes, you're singing music to my husband's ears as you're speaking.
I know.
Yeah.
I know he's a budgeteer.
Yes, he is. Donna, thank you so much for spending time with me this morning and for being diligent and proactive in getting this word out to our county and our many residents who may be going through it right now. And for those that aren't, we never know when a time may come where we need this help. So I see this as a resource for everyone to know that we are much better positioned to keep our homes and to get the help that we need when we just reach out and say we need help.
Right, and you too could be hearing this because you're meant to be a resource for a family or friend. So it may
That's
be a family
excellent.
member or a friend that's not hearing this message, but you're the conduit for them to be able to get the information or be encouraged to go and look for the resource because you heard it here.
I appreciate that. So you've heard it here from Donna about the things that you can do to help keep your home and to help keep stable, working with your lender or working within your own budget to make sure that we are all doing what we can to get through this challenging time. And I know how we are here in Cobb County that we will get through this and we can get through it together. Encourage you to check out Find Help Georgia and also Find Help Cobb County's landing page for Find Help so that you can understand more of the resources that are available near you. And we will also post some of the resources that Donna referred to online. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Donna.
Thank you.